Chapter 1. The Rise of Genghis Khan and the New Men of Sirkut. Cycles 0 to 10 of the New Urban Calendar. Spoken by Kadu, shaman scribe of Achat.
The dawn of the new men. For countless cycles, our ancestors roamed free beneath the endless sky of the Syrian plains, content in their ways, seeking nothing beyond the vast grasslands that sustained them. Their lives revolved around the sacred waters of the Saka and the Lostos, always trailing the horse herds, swift to raid, but slow to trade, ever suspicious of outsiders. Yet even the endless steppe could not remain isolated forever. First amongst our Genghis to heed the call of the outside world were the people of the Awa. Guided by the wisdom of the Apsuk, we established Achat, a settlement rooted deep in the tradition and ritual. Yet as the years passed, another settlement arose, one of a very different nature. Sirkut was founded 3 generations ago in the gentle foothills along the banks of the Saka River. Initially a humble outpost favored by eccentric explorers, it swiftly became the heart of an entirely new way of life, drawing forth men more interested in trade than war, and in mutual understanding rather than suspicion. These so-called new men of Sirkut journeyed boldly across the steppe, bringing with them trade caravans laden with spiral-patterned ceramics, bronze cauldrons, amber oath bands, and armor. Each cycle their wagons ventured further, establishing caravanserai, small trade posts of horsehide girs clustered around vital springs and strategic hills. Genghis, who had once scorned permanent dwellings, now planted roots, linking far-flung parts of the plains into a thriving network of commerce. And though tradition and animism still reigned supreme in sacred Achat, the influence of these new men slowly grew undeniable. Among these new men rose Gerlos, an unlikely but determined Dux Logal, who swiftly consolidated his power through riches earned in trade. A man of charisma, ambition, and unprecedented wealth, Gerlos was the scion of Genghis Khan, one of the newly powerful families whose wealth and influence had sprung directly from Sirkut's trade. Unlike past Logals, whose power relied solely on their spiritual insight or battlefield prowess, Gerlos leveraged the new economy, building his authority on trade and information. In the early cycles of his reign, the Dux Legal tirelessly pursued internal consolidation. He recognized the importance of infrastructure, pouring substantial resources into construction projects around Achat and its surrounding territory. Under his direct order, the squalid fishing port and docksides of Achat were expanded, facilitating an unprecedented influx of trade vessels. To feed the growing population, he sponsored the clearing and establishment of new farms about the outer spirals of Achat, beholden directly to the shaded hall alone with their produce, while distant mining settlements sprung up on the Irwin Peninsula to exploit newly discovered tin deposits, vital for bronze working. To the south, he encouraged the growth of Koldis, a trade post rising upon a modest hill amidst the boundless plains. A stepping stone towards trade with the distant Fayette folk, the Sajua the Heli, and the ancient lands beyond the Bone Waste Desert. Simultaneously, foreign merchants began arriving on Achat's bustling docks from across the eastern Bitter Sea, drawn by urban prosperity and opportunity. Chief amongst these early visitors were the Razumi of Svetograd, a maritime nation whose egalitarian traders established a merchant house, the Chladansko Sea, rapidly dominating maritime trade. Their towering white-sailed vessels became a familiar sight, cementing Achat as a crucial entrepot between the Bitter Sea and the endless steppes of Syria. But Gerlos' vision was broader than mere mud, brick, and bronze. Understanding that swift communication was paramount in holding the scattered Oa Gentis together, he initiated an official messenger post network, linking isolated settlements and caravanserai, all holding great riders and mounts ready for his men. This innovation not only secured rapid governance, but cemented the new men's power over trade and information, strengthening the core Gentis' already formidable influence. The drumbeat of murder make. But his greatest aspirations lay closer to home. To the north, along the banks of the Bitter Sea, dwelt our closest kin, the Teutā Peoples. Their town, Artemiskai, rivaled Ahat in prestige, though no Erwin would ever admit as much. Determined to demonstrate his strength, Gerlos marshaled 3,000 gleaming Equos charioteers, parading them proudly before the great hall of Ahat. When his cousin Hanin dispatched his emissary, he sought to awe the Prosmesto into submission with rich gifts and subtle threats. Yet his pride was swiftly checked. The Prosmesto scoffed at the great display and rejected the Oa's overtures, branding Gerlos a warmonger and warning their allies, the Rostal and Chernkov tribes, of his aggressive intentions. Undeterred, Gerlos once again turned to diplomacy, sending envoys laden with ends and gold and precious goods to secure alliances. His messages spoke of a united Teutā Confederation, promising wealth and protection against threats from the Northern Horse Lords and the Sahalnis raiders. But these offers fell upon suspicious ears. The Western tribes, wary and prideful, refused to join what they saw as Erwin arrogance. Frustrated yet cunning, Gerlos then resolved to undermine Prosmesto's spiritual authority. Using his influence amongst traders and shaman acolytes alike, he plotted to poison Artemisky's sacred Apsuk bull, hoping the death of their revered Apsuk heels would shatter the Prosmesto morale and their belief in their Dukes Legal. Yet treachery begat treachery. His bribed acolytes took his gold only to betray him, exposing the plot and inflaming tensions further. Minor riots shook Artemisky briefly, undermining its peace, but not enough to fulfill Gerlos' vision. Now the Rostal and Chernkov tribes stood openly beside Prosmesto, ready to defend them should Erwa aggression cross the Saka River. The First Triple Pact. Amidst this internal struggle, Gerlos' merchants extended their reach westward across the vast central Scythian plains, driven by curiosity and greed. These caravans brought wealth and strange stories back to Sakut and Ahat, tales of two great Ensla realms, script-worshipping peoples who dwelt in sturdy stone cities and wielded iron weapons far superior to bronze. Seeing opportunity, Gerlos authorized official diplomatic missions westward to establish formal relations and secure critical imports. The first mission, led by the Polish diplomat Bakar Kor, reached Statdam, the capital of the Holy Kingdom of the Scripts. There, the Teutā were warmly received by Holy King Gideon. Gifts of Enslan gold, previously obtained through trade and turned into artifacts, served as effective diplomatic currency, fostering goodwill and paving the way for an understanding of mutual protection and trade. Though perplexed by scriptist belief, this strange faith of script and fire, Bakar's mission was deemed successful. Encouraged, a second delegation under the capable Herald Vakir journeyed south to Huzoktum Ensla, the heartland of the Enslan people in times past. Here, the Teutā marveled at the might of Duke Johann van Glucksburg and his capital of Norbert. Despite initial skepticism and cultural barriers, Vakir's diplomacy secured an unexpected alliance. with the Hizogdom sending priests and diplomats eastward to Akkad to teach the mysteries of scriptism in exchange for alliance. Although somewhat wary of these shaman of the book, Gerlos eagerly accepted this arrangement, sensing strategic advantage in understanding the powerful Ensland culture and harnessing their weapons of iron. Thus, at the closing of the first decade, Gerlos' ambitious policies had yielded mixed but transformative results. The new men of Sukkot emerged as a powerful arbiter in this new world, their caravans carrying goods, ideas, and strange faiths that would shape the destiny of the Teutā people for generations to come. Closer to home, the drumbeats of murder may grew louder along the steps and banks of the Saka,